Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold.
You're my boy, Blue!
What's going on, YouTube? It's January the 30th, and it's time for my daily recap. Now, this morning, I was looking at SQ as one of my normal tickers to play, which actually I ended up playing Apple today too, because it had earnings. But once I marked up my highs and lows this morning during pre-market, it started taking off. So I was chasing it with my highs line before it opened. And with all of this running up, I started thinking today may be a bad day in the market. So right out the gate, I bought a few calls, thinking that it was going to go up, but I didn't even pay attention to this. Where is it at? My daily resistance level sitting up above this. This is actually my weekly line because I mark up my weeklies, my dailies. But this is like the previous week's lows. And I actually didn't pay it no attention that it can bump its head on it. But anyway, I took a few contracts, few calls here at the open, and it started to dump out. And I was like, this is great, because I was thinking that it was going to be a bad day in the first place. So I ended up adding to my position down here when I started seeing it pushing back up. And it was holding like right here where all this was going on. It kind of had a hard time getting over this area. So I was thinking that maybe it would bounce off of it. Little did I know it would break through it and keep on going. So once it broke through this, I actually ended up grabbing a put contract. Wow, this thing is still going up. Good thing I sold one of my calls, but I ended up getting short once it broke under the this area. So I took a put contract. Well, I think I actually took actually two put contracts. And once it got down here, I sold most of my position on my calls for a small loss once it broke that level too. And I just held on to one call and I grabbed the put once it broke the level. And it came all the way down. And let me see, did I end up selling? No, I didn't sell. And I let it come back up. It came back up. I was looking for a bigger move per se. So once it came back up here and it came down, I still did. My puts were melting down through this. So it wasn't really gaining much momentum as far as the amount that I could sell it for. So I just left it alone. And once my all of this started going on, I believe this was because of a Fed speak. It started taking all of the SPY with it. And I think it took almost everything with it that trends off of the SPY or moves off the SPY. I don't know why this thing is moving so slow. Okay, there we go. But you see all of this. I believe it was a Fed speak today, and it took the other stocks with it. So when I just left my Apple on, my SQ on, and I actually ended up getting out up here I took my call off up here for it was a very small loss. Might as well have been break even. And now that I'm looking at it, I should have just held on to it a little longer. But I still have a couple calls from Monday and Tuesday anyway. So I'll continue to hold them. But I didn't. So today I took a small loss on SQ. The put that I took off over here, or no, one call I took off over here, grabbed the put, and I still have the put, and I took the other call off up here. So both of my calls ended up coming off for a loss. But I did end up grabbing Apple. And what made me get Apple was I was looking at it in the morning, which my pre-market has. I didn't mark them up, but I knew it was right here where this red line is. This is a daily resistance that I have marked up already. But I didn't grab anything from the opening bell with Apple. I let it get down here, and I seen it holding on my pre-market low, so I grabbed a call. Once it broke through, and then it came back up on this candle and retested, and it couldn't even touch my pre-market lows, I went on ahead and grabbed a put. Now I only had one call, one put for contract for Apple because I was just looking to hold on to it for the bigger move for the rest of the week, for whichever direction it wanted to move in. So today, I knew it was a Fed speak to, and I was thinking that maybe it would make that move today, which it actually did. So once the Fed speak happened, I was in it, and it was around this time, and it started pushing up. So once it came up and it broke through, or it actually hadn't broke through here. Wait, yes it did. It broke through, came up here, and it did all of this chopping action, the sideways action. I took my call off for a profit. So my call, I ended up making 100% on it, and it paid, well, a little bit over 100% on it, and it paid for the put. So I still have the put, and I just left it on. But I took the call off, and I'm just going to hold the put, and I'm risking it to zero. So if it ended up not coming back into the money, I already made money off of it. I would just lose the amount that I paid for the put for the day. So overall for the day, I'm actually at a loss. I actually took a loss for the day. It was actually very small. So I really don't care about the amount that I lost today, but I was disappointed in my trade. And because of SQ, I didn't get in on a normal, like how I normally trade my setup. I jumped in based off of what pre-market was doing. And because I saw it going up, I'm thinking that it's just going to continue up. And you can't force your will on the market. You have to trade your setup. You have to trade the chart. And if I would have traded the way that I normally trade, which is it opened right here. This was the opening candle, and the open was right here at 71.10. And on this push up to pre-market highs, and once it started coming back down, I should have got in off of this candle, my puts, and that was all I would have had to take because I would have only had it from one side. It didn't close up over this. So once it came down, I could have took some profits once it hit the pre-market lows and held my last one and risked it till zero. Or if it made maybe 100% on it, then I would have took it all the way off. But instead, I did too much. I was thinking too much. I should have just traded my setup. So I ended up taking a loss, and that's what you do. If you don't trade your setup, you take a loss. You chase, you die. That's how it goes in trading. So that's all of the trades that I took today. If you all have any Any questions or anything, leave them down in the comments. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if this is your first time listening. Have a good one, YouTube. Later.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I